Welcome to the session How We Motivate and Inspire Students in Science by Charlotte Hendy from Dubai English Speaking College.
Thank you. Right, good afternoon everybody. I'm here today from Dubai English Speaking College to speak about how we motivate and inspire our students. And hopefully you've noticed I've brought some of them with us. So during the presentation, I will be making you up out of your seats and making you work. These guys are here to run it with me. They see me on a almost daily basis. They know what these activities are like. Please ask them about them and they will answer you as honestly as possible to let you know how we use them. First thing I want to talk about, and I really hope that this isn't a case of, well, of course we do this all the time. It might be, but I wanted to talk about demonstrations. Not just kind of the small, this is how you do a practical, I'll show you it, pass it over to you and then you do it, but the real wow factor in a lesson, something that actually makes the students go, oh, look at that. And the best way to do that is to show you it. So I've got a couple of videos. One of my favourite demonstrations of all time is the fire-breathing dragon. And this is where you literally just set up two Bunsen burners in clamp stands so the flames are overlapping, extra flame. And well, you'll see me do it in a minute. I look great on camera. And I blow flour into the flames. And the students also like to call me a dragon. But this is really good if you're teaching, respiration, can have the discussions. Well, why doesn't it happen like this in the body? What's in the body to control it? Combustion is a really obvious one as well. Energy from food. But just to show you what it looks like if you've not seen it. Oh, that was a bit anticlimactic, wasn't it? Some of our Year 10 students who hadn't seen it before, but also I think might have egged it up a bit. Methane bubbles, another real favourite of mine, and it really does have that wow factor. So whether you use these when they come into the classroom, so they've got that instant engagement in your lesson, or if you know you're doing something that is a bit more complicated and takes a bit of time and concentration, and you don't want them to sort of slump in the middle, you put your wow factor in the middle. Methane bubbles, again, a really simple demonstration, but works really well, especially for teaching combustion. Okay, so this is methane. We're just using the bubbles just to trap it. What we're going to look at here is combustion. You want to set like... Whoa! Some more? Yeah. They hadn't seen it before, so the camera's pointed in the wrong place. Hold it slightly down now, otherwise it goes. Quickly, lift it and turn it, quick. Okay, thanks. It doesn't burn because it's the methane fuel that burns, rather than my hand. Okay, thanks, Natasha. Another one is the Screaming Jelly Baby. I don't think I've ever had a student not name the Jelly Baby Bob or Billy Bob in the schools that I've taught at. But the Screaming Jelly Baby can be used, it's potassium chlorate and sugar, essentially. It also works with things like chewing gums, but a jelly baby or a gummy bear just looks funnier. And you just react it with the potassium chlorate, heat it up, put it in. Really good for teaching oxidation. Also used in terms of the energy from food and can be used, I know some biology teachers link this in with respiration. So I'm heating the potassium chlorate, first of all, and then we're going to put our jelly baby in. So say goodbye to our jelly baby, please.
Goodbye, jelly baby.
Bye. Ready?
Oh my god! Oh! Wow! Oh my gosh, that's unbelievable. Oh my gosh. That is, Miss, that's brilliant. When did you find out about this?
He's also playing Marius in our school production if you want to see more acting. That one's also good if you want to compare. So if you're doing rates of reaction, you can compare and show a jelly baby or show granulated sugar to show the difference in the rates of the reaction. So looking at your surface area. Just two more short videos, then I'm afraid I'm going to have you out of your seat, so take this time to rest. Foam monster, sometimes called elephant's toothpaste. You can use colouring to do this. Decomposition of hydrogen peroxide, use potassium iodide as a catalyst, so it makes it happen faster. This is more of a comical one.
That's so cool, man.
That is actually really cool.
That's actually really cool.
Sorry, their voices are making me giggle. Similar, using the hydrogen peroxide, you can at catalysis, but also been used to teach the fire triangle. So if you want to make a fire bigger, this is combustion of ethanol. We want to make it bigger, we can put more oxygen into the reaction. So we use hydrogen peroxide and the potassium permanganate crystals to add more oxygen. So you can use it when teaching the fire triangle. This video is a little bit longer.
So you can't see it because of the plastic bag? Plastic bag, you can't see the actual.
You'll see it in a minute, I promise.
There we go. Yeah, you've tried.
Right, stop filming now.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
You just stopped it. You need to do it again. She put her hand over the...
Again, we're not renowned for our filming as such at Desk, but the demonstrations, just to really pep up a lesson. If you want a student to walk into your door and be awake and be ready for a lesson, using something like that at the start. When you do your demonstrations, don't do a demonstration and then give it to them and they do the practical. It's a spoiler alert, they've seen what's happened. Excellent way to do it is to use whiteboards. I use mini whiteboards pretty much every lesson, I think you vouch for me there. And I will get the students to write their observations down so that they can write observations on the demonstration. So it has a real purpose, but it really does get students awake and listening. We're now going to go through a couple of actual teaching techniques, things that you can apply to any lesson, and this is where the students are going to help me with this. The first one I know was mentioned in the talk earlier on, but I want you to actually have a go. This is splat. Really simple. You see around the room, and I'm going to show you it on a board as well. It's just a piece of flip chart paper with some words on it. You're going to have to now work in teams, folks. So 3 or 4 perhaps per team, and you're going to line up in 2 lines in front of the paper. The students are going to read out a question, and if you think the answer is, say, convection, you have to splat the word convection. Do not be too hasty because you cannot move your hand once your hand is on that word. Okay, there's no moving around, pushing each other out the way. Once your hand is there, you keep it there. This sounds like the sort of activity where you think, nah, that's all right. Up out of your seats, let's try it. Come on, gents. So wherever there's, if you can find a piece of paper on the wall, do actually give this a go. I want you to have a go and try this. You're going to need to stand up. Have a go. So if you stand by your paper, Jordan, do you want to move along one? It's in 2 rows, guys. You know how to organise this, like we do in class? I know we've got a bit of a logistical problem here, but 2 rows. Come on, John. 2 rows. Team A, Team B. There's some people over here if you want to. Got your questions, Osama? Got your questions? Let's get going. Okay, Mo, just get started with whoever you've got there. It's fine, just in 2 teams.
Team A, you guys Team B.
Don't show the questions, Mo. Yeah, need to get. I want to see some competitive spirit, guys. This is a team game. Different player forward, different player forward. They're much more competitive when this lot do it, I tell you. They get violent nearly.
I have a doubt here.
Yep.
These posters are put on the wall.
On the wall, or alternatively, I'll show you how I do it on the board. I'm going to show that afterwards because we normally just do one on the board, so it's much lower maintenance to make it all. This is just because I knew I'd have 70 teachers in a room, so we don't normally do it on boards on the side. We use the whiteboards in teams. Okay. We're getting more competitive over here. Hi.
Hi. You will have repeating answers also, like if you maybe the same answer for two different questions.
Yes, and some of the answers on the board there's no questions for.
Okay.
So it's done differently. So it's not just which words left. You have to have different ones. And I'm going to show you how I do it on the whiteboard.
And what if the answer is wrong?
If their answer is wrong, because there's two teams, yeah, you have team A, team B, and you have at the end. My sixth form have done it lots, and it's now like a running tally that one team keeps winning. So they're like desperate to try and do it and get extra points.
If you have a big class, actually you do that, like the kids is going to ask questions. Like
A really good starter activity is to get the students to write questions. So you put the answers on the board, get them to write a list of questions as a starter activity, then you can use them for the plenary.
I mean, that's for these ones. But you put a kid to ask questions because as a teacher you can't have to.
I'll show you how I do it on the board. It's just because we've got so many people in here that I've done it slightly differently. So you can do it this way or you can do it a different way. Yeah.
Is it supposed to be a competition or the students take turns?
Competition, A-B.
So
Two
you choose a
teams.
group of students to come to you and you do it for them?
Yes. I'll show you how to do it on the main board. Okay, guys, we're getting very competitive, but can I ask you back to your seats now? Yeah, that was for your signal, but you're chatting to Mrs. Venter, so you're no use to me here. I'm afraid I'm going to have you up out of your seats again in a minute, but if I can ask you to just sit down for a second. Now, this is not a normal classroom size. So when I would do this normally, I would have it, thank you, Jacques. I would have it actually on my whiteboard. I was going to do it on the whiteboard, but even if you're not short like me, I thought you would struggle up here. So we put it on the whiteboard, and you can have two teams lined up. So you've got Team A versus Team B. This obviously makes it a bit harder because they're moving. If anybody wants this PowerPoint, there will be a chance later on to give your email address if you want anything sent to you. So if you wanted this, write that down on there. But for this, obviously, you splat, but you've then got to keep your hand with the word until the other team has done it. Lots of injustice of he's taller than me, he's shorter than me, standing in front of the board blocking the projector. But it really gets the students like, awake and with it. And very competitive. In our class, Team A and Team B have been fairly consistent in terms of the people in it. And when we do it, they're super competitive as to who's going to win. If you want to involve the students in it more, as a starter activity, put just the words on the board, ask the students to write questions. You then have a ready-made set of questions for your splat, for your plenary. But they've then contributed. If you get all of the same question as a teacher, straight away you know, they don't know much about these other words. And you can use that then for your future planning. The moving bit is great. When they first did it, and they were just like, oh, it's so unfair. But now they quite like it. Right, the next thing as a teaching technique that can be applied to pretty much any lesson is Bloom's Challenge Triangle. And this, again, it's that competitive element. Really simple to set up, but really engages the students. And you will notice that there are triangles around the room. So I'm afraid I'm going to have you doing this. Now, how this works, use your Bloom's questions, the Bloom's from basic recall all the way up to creativity, to make 7 different questions. The students have to answer one. You can have it in pairs or individually, depends on your class size. But you'll get their question 1, and they have to attempt to answer it. They then bring it to you as the teacher. You check it, say, yes, that's right. No, it's not. 2 bits are right, 1 bit's wrong. However you want to do that. They then have to go away and correct it. When they get it right, they write their name on the post-it and they put their post-it on number 1 of the triangle. Then they get question 2, which is a bit more challenging. They have to answer it again, and they move their post-it up. The idea is, of course, to get to the top of the triangle. And again, I wouldn't normally have made flip chart bits around the room. I will literally just have this on the board. But it gets the students, firstly, to engage with blooms. It gets the students to think, well, this must be a lot. See, I must be using my lower order thinking skills here because it's just recall, right the way up to their HOTS. There are higher order thinking skills at the top. So I want us to have a quick go at this as well, please. So the students all have a set of 7 questions. We've got all of 1 together, all of 2 together, all of 3 together. They're all looking very confused, but they are in their envelopes. They also have answers. You can, of course, argue some of the answers if you wish with our 6th formers. But I want you to have a go at doing this and show, as soon as you've done 1 question, and there's a post-it note, so your name is going on that board and is documented now on video, how far we can get up in about 5 minutes. So, again, go to your students. There's plenty of space over here if someone was crowded in a different group.
I'll join you.
We do need paper, that's a good... You should have your notebooks, your KHGA notebooks and pencils, if you could use those.
Yeah. Or they can, yeah.
Or post-its for the answers.
You need a few more.
This group at the back here is quite big. If anyone wants to go down to the front, Cameron at the front, there's only got a few students. There's some space down the front if this one's a bit crowded, just over in the corner there. Cameron's free. It might get more of a chance to get close.
Don't ask this group, I've already asked them.
Okay. So question 1, you've got to give question 1 out.
Question 1.
Yeah, put your name on your post-it.
Write your name.
And once you've got it right, your name goes up on the triangle. But you've got to get a question right before it goes up there. Sorry?
I'm missing 1.
You're missing 1?
Yeah, I don't
I
have
they can
enough
share. Hey. Yes. Oh, is that another way of doing it? That's a good one.
Basic chemistry teacher.
So you sodium hydrogen carbonate and the aluminium sulfate? I've not seen that. So you get the big...
More exciting.
I will look at that. Thank you. Thank you. It's good to get stuff, honestly. So they can do verbal answers if they want. If you don't want to write your answers, you can just use them verbally today if you want. For the lesson, it's good to have them written, but if they want to tell you the answers.
Shall we write the answers? Where shall we write
So you can write them or you can tell you. Normally we'd do it in their books. But if you've got the KHGA notepads, that'll work well. If you got the answer, get your name, come on, get your name on number 1. You'll be the first one on there. Some people are already on number 2. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Let's go with that. Move it up, move it up. Next again. 2 more. We've got some people on number 3 already. Speedy work.
You move it 1 out the side.
Are we moving up? You're from JC, aren't you? Nice to meet you. Charlotte Heddy, I worked there last year. Nice to meet you. I heard a lot about you. I was head of chemistry there last year. Yeah. Don't give out the answers.
Here it says CO2.
Yeah.
But here you've said oxygen.
You can figure it out.
Yeah, I know.
You can figure it out, mate. You're a bright lad. That's why I chose you. People on question 4. We've got a particularly gifted group over here. We'd normally have a table laid out with them all there. It makes it easier. It's just the logistics of the big room. You're doing a good job there, Jacques. Thank you. You can do it either individually or in pairs. So right now, it's up to you. In the class, it would depend on the ability of my class. My sixth former might have them doing it individually, so they have to develop their own answers. If I want the group to really look at their communication and how they're discussing it, I'll do it in pairs, but a different person has to come up each time.
Is it allowed to give a hint as a teacher?
Yes, normally as a teacher I'd have some hint sheets. So you can have, like, if you're a hint sheet. Another way I would have, they can use their textbooks, but I'll ask them to tick to show that they've used their textbooks. So you as a teacher can see that.
Describe the test of you are not a chemistry teacher.
Yeah, sorry, it is chemistry because I'm a chemistry teacher. So for this...
Test, yeah, it means how can I indicate if there's hydrogen or carbon dioxide?
Oh, yeah, in terms of the squeaky pop test with the flame and the carbon dioxide lime water. But in this case, if I had students that I thought didn't know the answers, I'd say I'd have some hint sheets, I might have some pictures or something else to kind of jog their memory. So you can really differentiate it and have that support as a teacher. But it works in terms of the competitive element. They really get like wanting to move up. My sixth formers, some of them are about 7 foot tall, and they're always like, they'll leave the classroom and they'll just put theirs right at the top just because they can, because they want to get to the top. I'm giving you a 30-second warning, ladies and gents, 30 seconds. Hotter than the sun. I've got a microphone on, be careful what I say. Are they going to get to 7?
Yeah.
Might just let them see if they can get to 7 because they really want to.
And then you can stop it.
Yeah. We have a winner! I'm giving them an opportunity to get to the top of the triangle, Osama. Encouragement. Oh, we're getting pretty close there. Who's Betty? Woohoo! Guys, I'm afraid we've got a winning table. I have got to the top of the triangle. Very well done. Can I ask you back to your seats?
I have a question. Under each one here, under each level, do you have a specific verbs, like command terms?
Yes, yeah.
Right?
If you put that down, I can email you. I've got a sheet that's really good for that.
Okay,
Yeah, no
because
problem.
I was just looking at the level of the question with the...
Yeah, you can use it if good for level ladders in science is really good as well. We're done, yeah.
You will give me your email? Or
Yes, what I've said is I'm going to ask people to write down what they would like, or their email address, yeah.
give me your email? I can email you just to remind you, please.
Okay, folks, can I ask you back to your seats, please? Incidentally, this is what the students are like as well. Ewan, we've got to be stricter. Got to be stricter. I'm afraid we're finished. Oh, it's a very strong post-it note. Right, folks, I'm going to have to get strict in a minute. Back to our seats. Come on, sixth formers, help me out here. Jacques, I'm cutting you off. I'm afraid we've got to stop. We've got to stop, yeah. You got to the top, very nice.
We got the whole group, we got the first.
I'm
So we'll take a snap with you, okay?
Okay. Moving on. Okay, guys, moving on.
Call us here.
Oh, could you just a minute? In a minute, we're going to have a chance to move round. Right. Is the proof in the pudding here or what? Come on, folks, back to our seats. This is hysterical. Cameron, I'm cutting you off. This is quite funny.
Quite funny.
It's good, isn't it? It's good. It is good. Right, so. Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen. This is my worst behaved class so far. Oh, nice. That's a good trick. Right.
Give me 5.
Okay. The good thing with this is that hopefully, as you can see, that people want to get to the top. You get students who perhaps don't always get to the top, but they want to. No, but they want to. This is the thing. And because it's scaffolded, they can access the top levels. So students in other activities, if it was a set of questions, would get disengaged lower down the triangle, and the questions really push themselves to try and reach the top. Logistically in here, it seems a bit complicated. But in actual fact, writing the questions doesn't take very long. You just cut them up. You have them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on a desk. The students can then come and collect the questions. You can offer support. So if you want to have available that you can use a textbook or a little hint sheet, it might just be a picture of something to jog their memory. So if they're really stuck, they've got something to actually help move them along so they don't just get stuck at one level of the triangle. If you want to see how much support they're using, put a little tick sheet with their names. I used my textbook, I used other people, I used the hint sheet. You've then got that to say, okay, this student got to the top, but they needed support the whole way through. So you can really track how well they're all doing with it. All right, the next bit, I know that some of you will be chemists, some physicists, some biologists. And I didn't want for you to leave the room thinking, well, that was great, and I'm sure that would work really well in a classroom, but that's not going to apply to me. So I've picked just a few of what I think are really good either teaching strategies or demonstrations for each of the 3 sciences, and we're going to split. So we're going to have the biology, just a few little demonstrations set up here. I'm going to ask at the back of the room, we'll need a couple of tables, kid, I'm afraid. Maybe at the back of the room for the physics, and in the middle here for the chemistry. So this is your opportunity to walk around. The students have got the resources. I will obviously be around for questions as well. So if you know that you predominantly teach biology, please come and see the biology bit so that you hopefully leave the room thinking, right, I've got something here that I can go and use. If you would like any of the resources emailed to you, it might actually be easier. I will put my email address on the screen. If you think that resource is excellent, I don't want you to have to then spend ages making that resource if I've got it prepared. If you email me, I can then send it out to you. So I'll put my email on the board in just a minute. Guys, can I ask you to get set up first of all? So biology on here. Have chemistry, perhaps. There's a bit of table space here. And the physics at the back there. Please feel free to ask as many questions as you can. I was going to get them to write emails down, but I think it's going to be significantly easier to give mine out, isn't it?
And also it saves you.
Yeah. Have I spelt that right? Yeah. I spelt my name right? Oh yeah, that's the wave machine. Good. No. So you guys want to go to the back of the room?
Yeah. Miss, what do we...
You can just show that it's just a revision technique. It's something that's really good to use as revision. Biology is very popular.
I'm here with chemistry.
I'm chemistry, so I'm much more of a chemist. Chemistry, I think, is over here. Yes. Okay, physics, how are we doing over here?
We're doing good.
Yes, there's 3 different things here. It's just some different ways. You might look at this and as a physicist say, this is how we do it. Or hopefully you'll look at least one of them and go, that's an interesting way of doing it. So please feel free to have a look at the resources. Sorry, I'll move out of the way because I've seen them.
I'm going to explain Darwin's fringes. Are we all familiar with Darwin's theory of the fringes? Well, we know that we assume each area is an island, right? And each island has separate seeds. So each of these, I'm going to pretend this is a bird's beak, right? Oh, yeah.
Primary school and PYP. Different ball game.
Yeah, this is a Twilight reference. It's also good to use Jennifer Aniston, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie for a similar thing. Some of the kids though are now too young to remember who they are. That always makes me sad. Right,
Fractional distillation in this way.
So the idea with this, the guy that came up with it was watching TV and there were monkeys on TV. That's why it's called Seven Monkeys. It's actually nothing to do with monkeys. I just found lots of pictures. And it's about going through the same piece of information but 7 different ways.
Okay.
So firstly is the reading. So you give them literally kind of like a script and everyone reads it to get primary school style, all together, read it through. But they have to read it out loud. So they're actually thinking and forming the words. The second monkey is all about, okay, you put the script away, then you don't look at that. You ping pong the ideas. So you might say, right, I remember there was something to do with alkanes in it. Oh yeah, no, it was something to do with chain length, wasn't it? Oh, no, longer this. And you bounce the ideas off of each other. Then you do the picture round. So as the teacher, you read out a bullet point and they have to put it into pictures. So they're translating the information from word to pictures.
Okay.
They then sort of look at it and say, right, okay, what do my pictures mean? And they try and build up a picture that way. Then you have keywords that are actually cut out and they physically arrange them into the order they've appeared in the text. So by this stage, they've read it, they've discussed it, they've drawn pictures about it, and they've actually looked at the keywords where they're discussing it again.
But here, when you start reading, just you give them random statements.
This is, I've put in kind of the key
When you
points
come
of
here.
text. Here, I would read the same bit of text out.
All of it.
So it's always the
I see.
same.
Okay, same.
They then write it down, sort of exam conditions, write it
You
down.
will use as a development.
So they're then looking at their
Because
pictures.
This one, if you teach them before, then it's of no use.
Oh, no, you can either do it as a revision of key points, or if you've got something that's very wordy that they need to just know. I know in physics, they've got to know the stages of a photocopier. This would help them remember the stages of a photocopier, so something like that, or the stages of fractional distillation. Then they have to check it. You give them a mark scheme, they check what they've written, then they fill in the gaps. So they can fill in the gaps using their pictures, using their keywords, using the ping-pong in their ideas. Sorry? No, this is whatever they've got wrong. So if they've missed, if they haven't got all of the points, they mark it, then they have to try and fill in what bits have I got wrong.
Here you're trying to get them to rewrite that.
Yes. And the whole point is, at the end of it, they've got that, yeah.
Okay. And here, even at the end, you can give them ID questions.
Anything. I've done it with all sorts of, and again, I've got that template, and then I just change and put different text in. I went on a training course with a man called Alan Jarvis a few years ago. He does courses out here actually for the BSME and stuff, yeah. And a lot of the stuff that I do, I kind of got from him early on. I've been in a few of his, and he told me about that. And the only we did it, and I was like, this really works for me. And I've done it in a few classes. I would often, in the middle of that, do one of those practicals. So I'll do a rates of reaction one, in the middle do a foam monster. So because there's a lot of sitting and concentrating, something in the middle to wake them up, and then do the rest of it. But yeah, but it's, you know, it's kind of, it's not rocket science in terms of how it's done. It's just, it's been given a name by someone, and then
And what is the
yeah,
write it down?
that's the thing, yeah.
Sorry, this is this write it down in?
So they're essentially, they're trying to write this, but they haven't got that with them now. Yes, of course, please do. Please do.
So they then compare, so there's a lot of resistance if it's a long, thin straw, then if it's a
Oh, that looks nice.
have a look at the different stations and just see the different examples.
So at the start of the lesson, you would set up the topic practical and then go through each station and experiment different sounds.
Oh, sequentially one.
Yeah, the rotation. So I start at 1, he starts at 2, someone starts at 3, and then after say 5 minutes, you'll shift to 1, and if after 6 goes to 1. So the rotation patterns, and by the time you're finished, you're where you started. So you've done all the activities.
This is a good thing to do right at the beginning of the topic when they don't know all of the answers and it's pure discovery. It's a bit, at the end of it, they can kind of build up a bit of a picture of actually what sound's about. So it's a real starting point for them. And the equipment's not listed on here, but it is very simple equipment: bottles with water, a tuning fork, and it kind of just leads them into the sound topic. But it works. It's really effective, and they love it because they're so sort of like moving around them. It's noisy, obviously, but it does work really well.
These are students.
Yeah.
Lucky.
They're lovely. These are my year 12 chemists, and they're great. And what's the because I should be teaching them now, so I was like, if I'm teaching them, that means I can pinch them and take them with me. So, no, they've been very good. Hi, very well, thank you.
I think that you are a chemistry teacher.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any do you know any chemical reactions which we can do inside the school? Because we have the science club in my school. I have the science club, and we are interested in chemical reactions, like amazing chemical reactions.
That sort of thing.
Yeah, I did the first one, which is
the fire-breathing dragon.
Yeah, with the first time with I'm not a chemistry teacher. The first time with Ki, which is potassium iodide, and the second time with yeast.
Oh.
In case of potassium iodide, it was so amazing. In yeast, it's good, like that.
Yeah.
Do you have something else?
Send me an email. If you send me an email, and I'll email them to you. It'll probably be easier. I can just give you a list of some of the things we do.
Yeah, I hope. What's your email?
It's up on the board. It's chendy@deathtodubai.com. Yeah, if you drop me an email, I can send you the list of some of the things we do. Fireworks. There's a really good fireworks one.
Yeah, I like it. I like to show the students that science is not just to stand up and explaining things.
No, it's to do it.
Amazing.
Have you done this? Have you seen this one, this digestion model?
Yeah, it's good, but for grades.
Are you kidding? My year 10s were like,
Yeah, not for high grades, because you put here water.
Oh no, you can use different. You can use enzymes and things.
Yeah, so it's water. It's not enzyme. It's not HCl.
You can actually adapt this, and you can get the enzymes and do it properly. But I didn't do it for today because of the logistics of it. But you can actually get some amylase and maltase, and you can actually put it in, and you can actually show the chemical digestion as well. So it can be sort of stepped up a bit. I know there's
I
bits on
told
there.
my students that you can just put a piece of bread inside your mouth. So for the first 5 seconds you'll feel nothing. It's like it's bread. After 5 seconds you'll feel like sugar, a sugary substance, which is the transformation or the conversion of starch to glucose.
Yeah, if you get the right chemicals, you can actually do that digestion model with the chemicals.
Okay, so I will
send me an email, and then I can send you the list of things.
Experiment.
Yes,
okay,
that would be great.
So much.
No problem.
Fantastic, doing so well. Just a few people look like they're trying to leave, so maybe
Well,
just
it
say to
finishes
them
at 5 past.
when they're ready, they're welcome to go.
Hey, Cameron.
Someone would like copies of all of the things, so I can.
If they email me, if they tell them to get my email, and I happily send it to them. Yeah, guys, just to say the session's due to finish at 3:05. I'm going to be around a bit if you've got any questions. Please continue looking at stuff and asking questions if you want to. But I'm aware we're coming to a close, so if people are needing to leave, then please, I think someone is going to officially come in and say that. But I am aware that you might have seen everything that you need to see. Oh, thank you. Applause from my own school.
Well done.
Lovely, thank you. Good.
I want to know, how do you make methane bubbles? Do you make it or do you get them?
We use the gas taps, thank you. We just plug a hose onto the gas taps and then just use fairy liquid. So it's just bubble it through fairy liquid, like soap solution.
All right. The gas hose that you
So the gas, we just use a plastic tube and put it on our gas tap in the science lab.
All right.
So bubbled it from...
The foam is there in the
foam,
plastic bag?
It's just washing up liquid.
Yeah.
So you have washing up liquid in a beaker,
Yeah.
and then you attach the tube onto the end of the gas tap, and you bubble it into the soap.
For some time.
And then you just put your hands
when
and
I do
collect
it, I wet my hands
Oh
with
yes,
water.
definitely wet your hands first.
with water, so
Otherwise
you're
it
not
burns.
going to burn your hands.
You lose hair. I lose hair quite a lot. Yeah. So do wet your hands before you do it. But it is just bubbling the methane through the soap solution.
Yeah, and it's just a practice that...
Yeah, practice it first. Practice it first. Because I've seen students do it, and teachers do it, haven't done it first, and they're like, ah!
Reaction of potassium with water or burning of hydrogen pops out. They're always amazed at
Yeah, exactly. So some nice big flame.
Reaction yellow color.
Yes.
That's my favorite.
Yes, we're doing that tomorrow actually.
I'll tell them.
Lead iodide.
Watch it, okay?
Yeah.
First I'll do. Watch it. Then that sound will come. Wow.
Yeah. Lovely, thank you.
wanted all
Oh, have you lost?
those,
Sorry.
excuse me, I wanted all those sheets which were there.
If you send me an email,
Okay.
And then I can send them all to you.
Oh,
That's fine, because I haven't got them all with me here.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, no problem. Thank you for coming. Glad you enjoyed it.
It was absolutely brilliant.
Good, excellent.
There are some stuff
Thank
like
you.
the solo taxonomy ones that I actually use.
The solos,
It's
new
such a
to me when I came
buzzword
to
now,
desk. It's
but
amazing.
It is amazing, absolutely.
Is there a website where I can find where the whole WOW experiment that you did?
I don't know if
You
there's
just
a
collected them
website. I just from different
okay,
places, from
okay,
different
okay,
people.
okay.
But if you want to send me an email, if there's any you want to know how we make them. Or how